All right. So, hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new today, my name is Andy. Welcome back. Today, we have a special guest and we are going to be talking about nursing story today. We're having like different guests that is going to be telling us all about their nursing journey. So, if you're someone that is planning to go into nursing or if you're already in nursing school, or maybe you're back home like in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, wherever you are, and you're trying to figure out how nursing is here compared to over there. We have some stories for you. And today our first guest, her name is Bola. Bola is a registered nurse. She recently, not too well, it's been a few years now, transitioned from Nigeria to US as a nurse. She was a nurse in Nigeria and now she's currently practicing in US as a registered nurse. So I'm going to let Bola introduce herself first and then we'll get into the video. So Bola, there you go.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. Like she said, my name is Bola. I have been a registered nurse for quite some while now. I practiced for a little bit in Nigeria before I transitioned to United States. I my area of concentration is in obstetrics. So I'm currently practicing as a registered nurse in labor and delivery now. And I'm married with two kids. And I think that's it.
All right. So Bola, tell us, we want to know about your experience as a nurse in Nigeria. Take us back to the schooling part. Like how you got your degree to how you practice in Nigeria. Like how is the whole practice setting in Nigeria like?
Okay, so I went the long route to become a nurse in Nigeria. I mean, people are going the shorter route now. So I went through School of Nursing, 3 years in School of Nursing, and I finished and I practiced for like a year or less than a year. And then I went for my BSN, and that was a 4 year program. And then I think I practiced for a couple of years too before I came to United States. So altogether, it's like 4 plus 3, 7 years.
So School of Nursing in Nigeria is for 3 years.
Yes, it's 3 years.
And then before you can start practicing. And then you went to get your BSN for 4 years.
Yes, so literally before people just go to School of Nursing, graduate, and then start practicing. Because after School of Nursing, you become a registered nurse. Once you finish your School of Nursing, you take the board exam, and then you become a registered nurse. Then, as time goes on, there was nursing started to grow in Nigeria, and then they were requiring people to have BSN. So people started going for BSN, but apparently I went for my nursing first in RN, which is like equivalent to maybe associate or a diploma degree, which is not like a BSN. So I have to go to university to get my BSN. So that was why I said after School of Nursing 3 years, I had to go for another 4 year. So university course in Nigeria is 5 years, but because I already have RN, so they waived the first year for me. So I entered directly into nursing like a direct trained nurse. So that made me to have 4 years in nursing to become a bachelor of nursing science.
So when you were in school, when you went back to school, were you still working or you stopped working?
So nursing in Nigeria, I don't know if I can't, let me say, I can't speak for everyone, so I'm just gonna speak for myself. So I'm not gonna say nursing in Nigeria, I will just say nursing that I did. So it's like very rigorous and demanding. I don't think the kind of BSN I did you are able to work because it's like full and intensive. It's like 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's really demanding. I don't think you can work. So I went to school like an undergrad, living in school like a student. Like, so I think that's what goes on mostly in Nigeria. People go to school and full-time school. It's hard to practice or work together with schooling. So I was a full-time student. No work.
Okay. So how was the experience of working in Nigeria? How many years did you practice as a nurse in Nigeria, and how was that whole experience?
So altogether, I would say I graduated my RN in 2008. So late 2008. So I used, because my RN license carries 2009, because results came out in 2009. So I practiced from early 2009 to late 2009. I'll cut that like 1 year. Then I finished my BSN in 2013, and then I practiced from 2013 to 2016 before I came to United States. So, like I said, there's a disclaimer. I'm going to talk about myself. I really mostly practice in mostly local areas, so I can't really speak for everywhere in Nigeria, because mostly I realize that when I'm speaking for nurses in Nigeria, I feel like I'm being biased because I'm speaking about local areas, because there are actually some places that are more developed than
Yeah.
where I practice. But when I finished my RN, I mostly practice in a psychiatric setting. So
Mm.
it was mostly psychiatric, not really medical like that. I loved that area then, and then that was the first opening I think I got. So I practiced in a psychiatry, and that was my only mainly psychiatry experience. Then after I finished, I practiced as a school clinic nurse, which were like attending to mostly primary sicknesses and mild, but we're like almost independent because we have just on-call doctors, so we're like almost. So
Mm.
I got most of my hands-on practice there.
Wow.
Yeah, I got most of my hands-on practice there. Then I also practice in a place that is owned by a doctor, and they have mostly auxiliary nurses. I was one of the 2 or 3 registered nurses that were there. I had most of my hands-on there. Auxiliaries, they have hands-on, but I had a lot of experience, especially in the OR and so many other things, how to put in IV lines, how to sutures, and all those things I was able to have hands-on doing that day. Then I think I got my midwifery shortly after. Then I had to go back for a couple of trainings, and then I wrote my board exam for midwifery. Then after I got my midwifery, it was in between my practicing my now NYSC, in between my doing NYSC, my 1 year NYSC, which I was doing in a community health center that is like, I won't call it a midwifery setting too. It's like a mother baby, but I also have some GOPD, which is like the outpatient unit for minor sicknesses. So I practiced there, but mostly I was in their OBs, vaccinations center, antenatal. So I practiced there, and after I got my midwifery, I practiced there for quite some time. So I was in their labor and delivery and their mostly the vaccination center and antenatal center for quite some time before I now came to the country.
So, why did you decide to go do midwifery?
So midwifery have been my love. It's my
Oh, wow.
heart, and maybe when I get to advising, I will talk a lot about that. It's been my dream. I would say I always knew that I wanted to be a nurse growing up.
Mm.
But my first year in nursing, I think it was 6 or 8 months into my first year in nursing that I knew that I was supposed to be a midwife.
Wow.
So I started picking up shifts in the labor and delivery. Anytime I'm free, I'll pick up like a volunteer shift just to help in labor and delivery, because I just wanted to know more about what they do. I want to learn more. And that aroused my interest in
Oh, wow.
it. I fell in love with it, and I pursued that goal. So when I got here, I mean, I almost killed the goal because it was hard transition. I guess we'll get to that part too. But I think after a while, I realized that's what I really want to do, and it just happens.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's just go straight to that part. So you transitioned, you moved over to the US, and you transitioned to working as a nurse here. So before we get to your experience here, let's talk about the whole transition process. Like, what did you need to do? Did you need to write your board exams again? Did you need to apply? Did you need to take any other courses? What was that whole process in order for you to be licensed as a registered nurse here?
So I would say it's really challenging transitioning. It's very challenging. So it takes a strong heart to really go through that process. I mean, people are doing it, but I won't lie, it's challenging, and I want to give not the glory just to myself. I want to give glory to God through it all, because I would have falling along the line because it was hard. So let me say, nursing in for me, like I said, disclaimer, for me, nursing that I had my experience in Nigeria is totally different. And thank God, maybe my 7 years education really helped because I had most of this brain knowledge. To the glory of God, I'm a good student. So I had this brain knowledge. I know most of the things I'm supposed to do, but I don't really have the hands-on that I needed for this country. But I mean, when I got in, it was a long process. So I started with CGFNS evaluating my results, and it was long. I think Nigeria to this place is so far, getting data, getting information, getting your results verified from Nigeria. It took me almost a year to do that. It took me, it was so long process. I Because I went to two different schools too. Maybe that's adds to it. Like I had to like request for my transcript from both schools. It takes forever to get here, and then verification. And the one that took so long was requesting for verification of my license as a registered nurse back in Nigeria. It took me forever. And I would say that's not a good side to Board of Nursing in Nigeria. It's not, because it's demeaning to the name for that long process. It really affected a lot of things and slowed me down a lot. But finally, when I was able to finish that CGFNS, then I had trouble too with Board of Nursing here, because after I finished the CGFNS, I think because of blacks, I think there maybe this is a disclaimer, but I'm thinking there's a little bit of color of the skin thing coming up there, because it took forever for me to get my authorization to test, and I couldn't figure out why. And I keep calling until one day I decided to go with my husband to the Board of Nursing, and I'm like, what is exactly going here? If you are not going to give me the authorization to test, let me know, because at that stage I was already thinking maybe I have to go back to school, because I'm like, that was late 2017. I got into the country early 2016. That was so long. So I think at the end of that, and we were like pulling it and were threatening to use a lawyer and stuff. So finally, I got my authorization to test, and then the hurdle to prepare for boards kicked in. But I had friends. I was working in a pharmacy because I felt like I had so many suggestions of what to do. People introduced me to working as a CNA to just get used to the hospital. And then I had the option of working in pharmacy. But I picked working in a pharmacy because I just felt like I need to know this medication. I know generics, but then when I hear Motrin, I'm like, what is Motrin? What is Aleve? What is this? I don't know the difference. I know the generic, but I don't know the brand name. So I felt like I need to get used to it. So I worked in pharmacy as a pharmacy technician. I got my license. That took a long process too, but while I was waiting for my Board of Nursing, I was doing that along the line. So I was just not sitting down. So got that. So every time I'm trying to fill a script for medication, I'm reading through the indication, I'm reading through the side effect, I'm learning as I was doing that. So that really helped me. In fact, up till now, my experience there, I bless God for that.
Like that.
Yeah, so that really helped me to transition, and then I did that for a while, and then I think I took Kaplan because I got so many suggestions from so many people. People felt I heard about _, some Bola review, Kaplan, but
I did Bola.
yeah, someone told me about Bola review too. But my mind, I think while working in the pharmacy, I met a nurse. That's one thing I was gonna say when I get to the advice. Be bold about what you want. I just saw a nurse walked in, and I just admired, and I asked her, what do you think I can do to become a registered nurse? And I told her a little bit of my background as I was filling her scripts. And then she told me about Kaplan, which was like something someone else has already told me. And that really helped me. I went to apply. Before I applied, because it's a lot of money, so I started taking their free test. I think that helped me too. I just saw one advert popped out online for a free test. I took the free test. I didn't do well in that free test at all. So I'm like, okay. It was depressing a little bit because I just felt like, am I gonna pass? So I think that really helps me too. It was depressing, but it puts me in
It
my,
motivates you.
yeah, it motivates me and then it lets me know my level. And
Mm-hmm.
so I put in more effort. Then I did all the free online. Then when it got to like 3 months to my exam, I started the Kaplan. I did all their question bank, like the advice. I put in all effort. I just had a baby. I remember then I would back my daughter and I would kneel down beside the bed so that she won't wake up. And then I would study and study and study. It was a lot of study. I would be cooking in the kitchen with my laptop beside me, studying every minute. I had a schedule because they advised us to have a schedule. So I had a schedule. I'll drop off my son in school, back my daughter, and I will study, prepare lunch, study, prepare dinner, study. Like it
Wow,
was
hard
a lot of
work.
study. And that was why I said determination matters because I know that this is what I really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I determined I was going to give it all it takes and I'm going to pass this exam. And to the glory of God, I sat for the exam and I passed, which was the first stage. And the second stage was now transition because I got the license, I got the RM behind my name, but do I know what I need to do? So it was hard, and then I had people saying you should have done CNA. I'm like, I know, but I felt like knowing the medication is the first route for me. So you might still remember me. I think you made me
Mhm.
was very crude. I was really very good. There are some shameful things that I don't know that I can't say online. I was like, I will follow text sometimes and watch how they do some things. It was that bad. I know this thing in my head, but there are some things I remember that I don't even know how to use a PCA pump. I can't even say it out. Is it even just PCA pump? Even some Hilarious IV pump. I don't know how to set it. I don't know how to put it together. There's so many things I don't know how to. I don't know. I've never done TPN before. I've never done J-tube feeding. I don't know what it means. I've never done wound vac. I have no idea. But one thing I knew then is I told myself that I got this, and I don't ever let anyone put me down.
That's
So I
right.
always keep my head up that I will do this no matter what it is. There are times that I remember then sometimes I will get to the floor, I will see some special cases, I will go to a corner and take my phone and quickly do some quick review on that thing. I will get home tired at night, I will go on YouTube, I watch
Oh,
videos, I will
wow.
study and study because it's hard to say to people that I'm a registered nurse and I don't know how to do those things. I mean, I have the knowledge, but I need the hands on, which is very important. And I really don't know all those hands on. So, but practice with practice, by the time I was like 6 months in, I was as good as
Expert.
anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think it's just like determination, perseverance, not giving up, and you can't be lazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I cannot compare myself to people that schooled here, just like they can't compare themselves to me if they go to Nigeria to work too. There are some things that might be better at in Nigeria that they might not. So sometimes I'm even I can't even tell them how many years of experience I have because they wonder you have this years of experience and you don't know this, you know. But I just determined. And then I remember when I left my first job to my second job, we were writing names, and then you have to write your credentials. And I realized the only credentials I was able to put behind my name was BSN. And I was like, what? And then that day I said, before the end of this year, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, I'm going to. And I determined and I chased it, I pursued it, and I achieved it. And to the glory of God, I have everything I want to be behind my name.
Oh,
Every
wow.
time, every opportunity, I step up. I step up.
Please tell us what you have behind your name now. It's important.
So, I mean, I'm still in the no, those are mostly certifications. But now,
Yeah.
finally, I'm in the process. I'm back in school for my MSN. I'm in my second
Mhm.
year of my MSN now because I determined that, okay, because when I say I'm a midwife, people were like, oh, you're a midwife. So I stopped saying I'm a midwife in Nigeria because I realized later that being a midwife in Nigeria is totally different, which is where I understand it's not like it's something bad, but midwifery, when it is in Nigeria now, is where it started from the United States. Midwives in Nigeria, I think, only needs to be a RN, and then you can get your RM as a certification with as a license, not certification now. So when you finish your BSN, some people go straight into RM school, and some people just, for me, I did it with my BSN. But for in America right now, you need to have an MSN
Mm-hmm.
to become a midwife, because midwife is an APRN degree.
Yeah.
It's like an advanced practice, just like NP.
Mm-hmm.
So when I understood that, I realized that no, I'm not there yet. And then it took me a while. I was supposed to have started since 2019. I was pushing and pushing, and eventually 2021 I started. And to the glory of God, I mean, in class now, I have aced all my courses. And then, so that's where it comes to about determination. Even though my undergrad is not here, I'm in class with people that studied here, that had all their undergraduate degree here, in class with people that have been here for 20 years, that have been practicing for several years. And I am competing with them very well.
That's
That
right.
yeah, you can say because my undergrad is somewhere or something, and then you feel dejected or you feel down. So it still boils down to determination. Like I
Yeah.
can do this right now. I'm talking. My pharmacology textbook is right beside me. Whatever you put in your mind to do, you can do it, no matter where your background is or no matter where you start from. You
Yeah.
go whatever you want to do, you can always do. I remember saying that I wanted to be this midwife. I was when I transitioned to my new workplace. I was a postpartum nurse because I really wanted to get into labor. Then they don't take new people in labor. And then they were like, "What's your labor and delivery experience?" I had zero experience. And I said I was a midwife, but I have zero experience in this country. So it was hard putting me in labor and delivery. But I told myself, okay, I'll start from postpartum. I started from postpartum. I was in postpartum for almost 3 years. And then when the time came, I'm like, yes, this is the time I'm getting it. I got in with no clue of what I don't even know how to read fetal monitoring from the basic, because I've been a midwife in Nigeria, but we don't use fetal monitoring. I remember sitting beside patients and doing fundal check palpation and counting contractions, and then we are like charting it. That's the local hospital where I work. Again, disclaimer: there are some places that they
Mhm.
do fetal
We
monitoring.
have more
But when I said
advanced
that,
stuff.
yeah, when I said that, I had friends that says, "Oh yeah, we do fetal monitoring in my hospital or something like that." But where I work, I never did fetal monitoring. There's so many basic things about labor and delivery that I didn't do where I worked. I didn't even do epidural. I don't even know how to go through it. I don't even know how to do it for patients. So I don't know all those things. And I couldn't start. At first, I was saying, oh, they don't do it where I came from. But later, I realized that they do it in some parts of the country. So it was just me. It was just where I worked that we never did it. But I put everything into it, and now I can say I have my a certification. I'm a certified electronic fetal monitoring. I have the license because I put in my mind it was a hard course to do. But I said I was gonna get this license. I'm gonna get it, and I got it. I got it like 2 months ago. So
Yeah,
it's something that when you put it in your mind, you put in effort, you get there.
that's right. So I think that's just amazing because sometimes some people they start something and they see a stumbling block and they are stuck. I mean, there are some people that have had they transition over here and they still haven't started working yet as a registered nurse because the whole process, if you're not, like, if you don't make up your mind and be determined, some people don't, they just get stuck in there in the same place. And that's why some of them, there's some still work as a nursing assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So really, and I have to say that was awesome, just thinking of the fact that you're going to go into pharmacy, because even here pharmacology is one of the hardest courses
Right.
that you have to do. But just having that knowledge to say, I'm going to be a pharmacy tech to learn the med, that's like half of the battle when it comes to passing your medications and giving out your meds and stuff.
You're right.
So I still remember those days. And then when you came to me and told me that, oh, you're leaving, you're going to labor and delivery, or you're I mean, that was good. That's awesome.
Right.
So the other thing I would like for you to tell people is, how would you compare working in Nigeria to working here, and what are the pros and cons? What are the the good side of it, and the bad side of it? Or let's not say bad side, like the disadvantage and the advantages of working in Nigeria and working here.
Okay, let me start with the advantage of working in Nigeria compared to working here. The hours. The hours is flexible. I mean, here for every minute you for every dollar you get,
You work for your money.
you work for it. There's
Yeah.
no even you barely. I mean, summer vacation. I was only allowed 3 days, so that's not good at all. That's not good. So I
Mm.
have to like plan my schedule, move things together, exchange with people, just to barely get 10 days for the whole year. So that's not a good thing, because I feel like there are sometimes that you need to just leave everything behind,
Take a
and yeah,
break.
that's good for your mental health.
Oh,
So
yep.
I think Nigeria understand that we have breaks, we have vacation. Like I said, I was working when I got my midwifery in Nigeria. It wasn't that bad. Studying now and working with kids and family, it's hard. Let me say that it's
Mm-hmm. Of course.
very hard. I barely have time for anything social. I
Mm.
barely have time. I calculate time. Now you might still see my eye bag. I'm very sleep deprived because I've been studying for the test I have tomorrow.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's hard. But so that part, the timing part in Nigeria makes everything. I feel like if you come to work refresh, you give more. And then another thing is the patient load. Yeah, I remember when I won't mention my first place where we met.
That
That's not the
was the shocker. That was the classic. It shocked you.
I feel like maybe that helps me to transition anyways, because it pushed me, pulled me, and knocked me down, shook me together, and trained me that you're in a new place. I was going crazy, but I was like, this is not the wife I married. Yeah, it was very hard. The patient load was very hard. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it was like I remember when I'm in the vaccine clinic in Nigeria. I mean, I might have to do some lot of vaccinations for kids, but once I'm done with the vaccination, I have the rest of the hours just to breathe, which is good. I mean, there are some places that are going crazy too in Nigeria that are like hard, but I don't think it's you can
Like,
compare. No matter what, even places that have not worked, I've had people talk. I don't think you can ever compare the hours. Even the maternity leave, oh my goodness, you barely get 6 weeks for maternity leaves. And if you have a C-section, I think that's like 9 weeks or something, and it's only paid, they pay you just for 6 weeks, and the rest you don't get paid.
mm-hmm.
That's not fun at all. For the time. And then I think I would say the social part. I love the social aspect of being a nurse in Nigeria. Well, like together, family, the bond, and like if you have friends, you are happy together, you work together, you support each other. I mean, there are places here that they do that too, but most times, oh my goodness. So if someone is even smiling at me, I'm not really sure if they are really smiling from their teeth or from their heart. Like you want to check, like, are they really happy with me, or I've had
What's going on? What's
people taking
going on?
pictures of wound dressing and putting it under the manager's door just so that someone can get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do I
Mm-hmm.
gain if I bring? I mean, I get it if you are trying to improve the workplace, but not at the essence of putting someone down. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I have had so much experience. I've had people talk down on me for making little mistakes. Like they don't even give you room to make mistakes. They don't even give you rooms to say, I don't know this. Like sometimes you say you don't know yet to help you, but then you hear them side talking about you, I mean, so I've seen so many Africans American or African being frustrated out of work, especially if you don't have your self confidence. Like I feel like I always say, like if until I'm done in a workplace, no one can frustrate me out.
That's right.
Like if you don't have that confidence, they will pull you down. Because there's one thing, there's this thing about us, and there's this bias. It's not just towards us, even we. I because there's a course, this cultural course that I did, I realized that I have my own biases too. So it's not only people that have biases towards us, but we have biases towards people too. So those things, I don't think I experienced things like that when I was working in Nigeria. And then there's all this classing. I have this, I have that, you don't have that. There's nothing like that in working in Nigeria. And I think there's support too, more support, financial support. Financial support in the sense that not that they're giving you money, but like, oh, this day, oh, let's go and buy Christmas chicken, let's all share it together, let's buy Christmas lights, let's all share it. Those kind of social things. Let's have a Christmas party, let's do this. All those, I think more of the social part, I like that and I enjoy that about working in Nigeria. And I think when we talk about license too, I mean, it's not like you are guaranteed to do something bad. You would they frown at it if you make mistakes, but not in the way that you can easily lose your license when you do something. So when you do, even you see, I don't know if you had a story about the lady that lost her license because she was trying to help out and then made a mistake and gave the wrong medication. It was she was almost going to jail.
Yeah.
And there was no one fighting. And then there was one recently, I was looking on the news today, that there was this patient that hit this man in his groin and he died. And he died.
The
And
patient hit someone.
yeah, it's a nurse.
Oh
And the
my
nurse died. I know that, I mean, they filed against this patient for homicide. But all I was hearing is that they should have done training. He should have known his training on how to avoid stuff like that. That's not supporting enough. I don't think that's supporting enough for nurses. And then for encouragement too. I mean, some people places encourages here, but I feel like I get more encouragement with even little stuff that you do in Nigeria compared to stuff you do here. So that's pros. That's the good part for Nigeria. I mean, there are a lot of bad parts. I don't know if you want to talk about maybe disadvantages. I don't know if you want me to talk about that, but I always say little from like, give me what I need to use to take care of these patients, please. Like, if I need to do wound dressing, then let me have the stuff I need to do. To disclaimer again, I know maybe some places have that, but I work in a crude place. But there are times that you need some basic things that's not available. Goodness. And then there are some times that you'll be like, where are we for goodness sake? You have a mind to do something, but you don't have the resources to do it. Yeah, you don't have the resources to do it. So that is not a good part. And then we see some people that are just lazing around. I mean, that happens here too. But lazing around, you have some things to do, you're not doing it, and then it's just like lingering around. That's not good. And I think for education training, I think recently before I left, they introduced this thing called MCPDP, where they train people. Before you renew your license, you have to get some CEUs or stuff like that. That's good. After they introduce that, that's good because you see some people. I'm sorry to say, they call them gallipot nurses when I was in school of nursing. Then they say all they know is what is this? Is a gallipot. That's like the Florence Nightingale crude nurses. And you can imagine those people still practicing. There's some things that they did that I can't even talk about in labor and delivery then. Now that I have understanding, I'm like, oh my God, they did that? Like some practices, and all they are thinking is they're doing hands-on, they're helping, which I'm like, oh gracious, no. It is absolutely no. Even me working there, like, care, the kind of care that you render, the aseptic techniques, gracious, it's we can't really talk about it. We can't really talk about it. So it's all odd. Mostly knowledge. I feel like there should be improvement. There should be growth. Nurses in Nigeria is way different from here. When I was in Nigeria, all I do is I follow doctor's order. Doctor prescribe labetalol 20 milligram. I give labetalol 20 milligram. Doctor prescribe pitocin to a pregnant patient. I give pitocin to a pregnant patient. You know what I mean? Like,
No questioning.
like this is not right.
Mm-hmm.
You get like, so you have where I think there are some nurses that are good. I remember I used to have a matron then that would say you want to give digoxin, you count the pulse. You know, and some other things like, but there are some people who just take the digoxin. Oh, this is your medication. Take go. You know, no. It's I know how we do. Then we go around. We pass medication. We give antibiotics. What else? Wound dressing, and that's it. And we write reports. A lot of reports. I remember my sister always saying that when they come to her and they'll be like, "What is your name?" She knows her name wants to go in their reports. Once they go to a doctor, doctor, what's your name? Your name is going on the report. How they do, what is doing around, what they do is they are sitting with that book, writing reports all the time, writing, typing, writing reports. All they do. So it's just,
Oh my goodness.
we have a stethoscope. I can't even remember. And that was one thing. I got here, I'm like, how do I even recognize which out sound is normal and which out sound is not normal? What is long sound? We did it in school. I know this theory in my head. Or do I even listen to do I know the difference between stridor from
So in Nigeria you don't listen to long sounds.
disclaimer?
That's the doctor. That's the
Only
doctor.
doctors put stethoscope on their neck. We don't wear stethoscope. All we use stethoscope for is to do blood pressure. So the vital signs we did is temperature, pulse, blood pressure. I don't listen to accent because you don't even document it. All you count is the respiration. Once you count the respiration, it's within normal limits. You count the pulse, it's within normal limits. The blood pressure. We don't listen to accent. We don't listen to bowel sound. I don't even know how to listen to bowel sound. Oh my goodness. What do I even? I know there's bowel sound, but I don't listen to bowel sound. I don't listen to. I don't do. What is it? Costo vertebral junction. What do I know? Is the meaning of that? I don't do it. It's all theory because it's the doctors. I don't even say. I'm not saying they are doing it wrong. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
it's
why
just
it's labeled. Maybe it's
yeah.
like the what do I say? The work description, the job description.
Yeah, that's
Like,
just how it's done there.
for us, most of half of the things I'm doing now is what doctors do
Doctor say.
there. So, and I think some countries, maybe that's just the, maybe it's not a disadvantage. Maybe that's how the job description is like in back in Nigeria because it's totally different here. Job description is different. You own the patient. The doctor write prescription. Is if the prescription is wrong, you use your nursing judgment.
Yep.
You know that this prescription is wrong and you don't give it. Or if there are two medications that have drug to drug interaction, you know that okay, I'm not giving this. And you can even advise the doctor. I remember we here we're using the course word, we're advising doctor, we're using SBAR and all those kind of things. We don't do that. What is SBAR? You follow the doctor's and then I think it was changing just before I left too. Because then doctors are saying like these bosses that walk in and then you carry the charts of the patient and you follow them around. That's you do their word round and you are writing it down. And they say, let's change from vitamin C to vitamin B2 and you're writing it down and you know all those kind of things compared to now we do word round here, right? But it's not like that. Doctor is saying that when you're advising them because you're the one that has been with the patient all through the doctor is not with the patient. You're advising them, you're telling them the progress of the patient,
Yep.
you're advising them
That's right.
they are even listening to. There are sometimes I remember there are times that I've sat with my patient, monitoring my patient, and I feel like this patient needs it, this patient, then I'll call the doctor, oh, don't you think we should do this? Don't you think we should do that? And then the doctor, oh, great, let's do that. On like I'm sitting there and I'm watching and the doctor is not saying anything and I'm not saying anything and we're just all sitting down and looking and until the doctor figure it out, no one is figuring it out. So that's not a good aspect. So nursing needs to extend beyond that. They need to
Mhm.
be independent. They need to work more. They need to grow more. They need to know more. They need to advance. That is the one of the hard part of my transition to be independent. Like nursing it's an independent, we collaborate, we have
With
it,
the
it's an
doctor.
independent thing.
Yeah.
But nursing itself is independent, medicine is independent, pharmacy is independent, the lab is independent, but we work together. But as a nurse, I don't have to depend on the doctor to tell me what I need to do. Compared to, because then at home all the orders are being given by the doctor. Treat wound twice daily. I don't even think I need someone to tell me that I need to do that. You should use your initiative to know that you are to end, like, empty fully. Do I, okay, do we even put in fully? I can't even remember all those things. And then there was one time they put in this thing, nurses don't go into vein. I'm like, what the nurses don't go into vein? You only give PO medication and high-end injection, all those kind of things.
So
But
you can start an IV.
there was a time they started that nurses don't go into, I don't know about now, but there was a time that they were actually doing that. You don't go into vein. All these lab works that we do, you wait for the doctor to come and draw the sample, you wait for the doctor to come and set the IV line.
That's even a lot on the doctor. Because
Yeah.
why are you the one drawing all the
Is doing everything. All the nurses are doing is, when the doctor has done all this, then you follow the doctor's order, you give the medication, you pass food, you dress wound, you do bed baths, all those common nursing so I would say, now, compared to what the techs do now, imagine a nurse doing that.
Mm,
So that's what it looks like, which I think that nursing has advanced more than that. I think I understood it when nursing was just like an associate, like a diploma degree. But not now that nursing is going into BSN and people having MS. I have friends that are back in Nigeria that have MSN way before I even started my own MSN. If nursing is going that route, then nursing should step up and own the
expand.
unit, own the hospital, own it. We have more relationship with the patient. We should be able to own it. The patient shouldn't wait until the doctor comes before things happen. Hey, doctor, go and call the doctor. Like all these shows that we watch now. Doctor, doctor. You know that. So those are the words.
All right. So, what would you advise someone that is trying to transition from Nigeria or from any part of Africa to nursing here, and even for someone that is here that says, "Oh, I want to go to nursing school, but I feel like it's just too hard, or I don't think I'm going to make it, or I don't think uh, they're going to like me, or it might be a little too much for me. I'm African, I speak with an accent, all of those things." What would
So
you advise them?
yeah. So what I will say about that is, first of all, look into yourself and find out why you really why you're already a nurse, right? So find out why you are a nurse. Is
Mhm.
this something you want to do? Because there's something one of my lecturers told me when I was in my PSN. He said, whatever you have, be proud and be able to defend it. Right? This is my license. But you don't defend it on empty head. That's why you must know what you know. You get what I mean? You must know what you know. And then he said, when you walk, you raise your shoulder high, your chest out, and you're like, no one can push me off.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I feel like inferiority is what really brings people down a lot. So when you know what you know, and you know this is what I want to do, then that's the first step. Because if you are not determined, you'll be pushed down very fast. But I see new grads in my workplace and they're like, oh, is all the department this hard? I'm like, is there a simple department? Is there a simple job? It is nothing this like this, is labor and delivery like this. Is supposed to, I said, if you leave labor and delivery, you go to, I said, what do you even want to do? First, start from there. Because I feel like if you know what you want to do and you start from there, then you are not looking at what is hard and what is not hard. Because I have this passion for labor and delivery, midwifery, even though sometimes my work is hard, but I still do it with all passion, and I will still wake up the next day and still go back to work because this is what I want to do. But if this is not what I want to do, then that's when something throws a little thing at me, then I resign, I quit the job, and then I go look for another job. Then
From
they
what?
throw another thing at me, I quit the job, I go look for another job. So first of all, be sure this is what you want to do. And once you find that this is what you want to do, because like I said too, some people do it for money. If you are doing it for money, then you keep moving
You're
from
gonna
here.
get
Tomorrow
frustrated.
night, you hear that IT is the one that is making money, you leave nursing, you go to IT. Tomorrow you hear that it's law, you leave law, you go. So once you are sure of what you want to do, you give it all it takes. There's no area there's no challenges. I've seen people that have failed several times. I've seen people that failed 5 times before they pass. When you quit is when you fail. When you don't quit, you have not failed. You keep moving
Mm.
forward, pick yourself up, you look at why you fell, and then you pick yourself up and you get better at it. If you fall again, you stand up again. We've had stories about people, I can't remember names, Abraham Lincoln and all those people that they fall several times and they keep picking up themselves and they eventually won, and we can hear their name everywhere. So if you are here now talking to people that are here and are failing, or they haven't even gotten their license or their authorization to test, it's challenging. Especially sometimes people see you, they might not even be able to tell who you are, but once you open your mouth quickly, they will tell where you are. And then you see, I've been to work that people will be like, "Oh, where are you from?" I say, "I'm from America." Where are you from originally? I'm like, what? Why are you asking me that question? Why? Like, really? Or because nothing can throw me off balance. I've already accepted who I am. If you don't
Mm.
accept who you are, that's when people will throw you off balance. I've accepted. I
Wow.
wasn't born in the United States. I was born in Nigeria. I was first of all a Nigerian before I became an American. So you
Wow.
can't throw me off balance. Where are you from? I'm from Nigeria. Oh, whoa, where is your accent from? Some people will be like, your accent is very beautiful. It's a lie.
Wow.
Understood that it shook me when I first started, especially when I was working in CBS. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. What are you saying? What are you saying? It would throw me off balance. I'll be like, sometimes I'll be so frustrated. I've had people tell me that you need a translator. Yeah, it was that bad. But I keep moving through all those hordes. Like, really, all those things can throw you off. But I keep moving. I keep moving. I'm like, no, you're too small. I've been through tougher situations, and I'm not about to quit. I know where I'm coming from. I know this nursing is my journey, and I will give it all. Give it all. When I started practicing, I gave it all. When I even started this MSN, it was like as if I can't do it, because I had, first of all, I've never even done online school before. I've never. There are some basic background things that they will talk about in class. We are building on nursing background. There are some of this background they are building on I don't have. I'll
Mm.
pick myself up. I will go start from this crash and then catch up with others, and then make sure I'm not left behind. So confidence is very important. Give it all. Give determination, self-determination. Because once you have this inferiority, you fall very fast. Self-determination, give it all you take. If you, like I said, I didn't get my authorization to test, we went to boards, we faced them. Don't be afraid to face them. There's something I've learned about this in this country, especially when I started my BSN, is like, you don't, when you're talking to people here, you see, back at home, we're trained that when you're talking, you look down, is disrespect when you look at people
Mm.
face to face. Here, they want you to look at them face to face to be sure that you're being honest and you're confident. And that's it. When you're confident, you know what you're doing and you know what you're saying, you face them and talk. Because that's what brings most of our people down. They're afraid to face their fears. They're afraid to face people. They're afraid to fight for their right. You'll be at the workplace, they bring you down, they talk you down, they demand, maybe people are getting all the 2 3 patients, they give you 5 patients, and you keep quiet today, tomorrow they give you 10. You keep quiet until you are able to stand up. And it's not like you need to be aggressive, but you need to know your rights. You need to know how to stand up for your right. And when you are doing that, to make sure you have stuff. Because if you don't have stuff and you're standing,
Know what you're doing. Know you're good at your job.
you have something up here. Yeah, so when you are talking, you know you're talking from facts, and you are talking, and then they respect what you say, because once you are able to do something and they see that you are doing it well, then I remember you go into a patient room, maybe you do a vaginal examination, you do something, you did it very well, your respect has added to one.
Mm-hmm.
You go for all certification, everyone is going for the certification, you went for the same certification, you passed. Then they
Mm-hmm.
had Maybe everyone went, you failed. They will be like, it's because she's from Africa. That's why
Mhm.
you failed. You
You're
at
right.
least
It's true.
pick yourself up. Make sure you pass it. Don't draw back. That's something I tell some people. They are saying everybody should get this certification. You are the only one drawing back. You don't want to go for it because you are afraid. Then they will say because you are from Africa, they are dumb there. But don't draw back. Give it all you take. I always say this: if people that are passing have one head, that have the same one head that they have, I will pass to just like they are passing. So you give it all you take. Don't draw back. Give it all. If you fail NCLEX once, pick yourself back. Give it. Give it. Strengthen yourself. Associate with people. Get friends. Make friends. Don't be too proud. That's another thing. Don't be too proud to make friends. Don't be too proud. If you have not gotten to where some people are, humble yourself. And when you get there, you can raise your shoulders together with them. But if you have not gotten there, don't be too proud.
Mhm.
Don't be too proud to talk to them, to ask for help. I'm never proud. When I started working, I learned from text how to, like I said, do even blood pressure machine here, how to put in patient info. I don't know how to do it. Then I learned those things. I remember then my tech then, she's a sweet girl. I learned from her a lot. So don't be too proud. When you now know what you're doing, then you raise your shoulder. But
Mhm.
before you know it, don't raise it. Learn first. And then raise your shoulder. Yeah. So, and for people that are in Nigeria, if you really want, I've seen people that wanted to come here and they're like, oh, it's just that English. Why? People that have passed the English, they don't have two heads. You
Mhm.
can. You can.
Mhm.
The IELTS, people that have passed it, they don't have two heads. Give it all. Pass. And work hard. Get in if this is where you want to be. There are some people that are not meant to be here and they will do well back home. And there are some people, they know this is their route. If you know this is your route, you want to go this way, then give it everything you take. You can do it. If someone like me can do it, I wasn't the best of the best growing up. I was just an average student growing up in my high school. My parents were surprised at how good I did after I got into nursing. That was one of the reasons that showed them that this is really my route. I
Mhm.
was never, my friends knew I was never I won't say I'm dull, but I wasn't so super smart like some other kids are. I was just average, just struggling to pass. But so if someone like me can do it, with the help of God, because I know God pulled me up,
Yeah.
because God supports me so well. Because see, if
Yeah.
you are saying how many people who can pass English, I should not be numbered among them. But God supported me and I gave it all. I strengthened myself. I knew where I was coming from. I knew I wasn't super smart like some other people, but I gave it all and I passed. So if someone like me can pass, you can pass too. Just give it everything you can do. And then work hard, study hard. If you don't understand something, pick it up, look at YouTube, do use acronyms. I sing songs, I write it on my walls, I do everything I can do. I draw tables, draw diagrams, draw acronyms, anything. Give it just to get to that ladder. If you have to step in the mud to get there, just give it. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Give it everything and then get there. When you get there, then you clean yourself up and then you say, I don't look like what I've been through.
Yep.
That's
Yep. Wow. Oh, this has been so fulfilling, so good. Man, there is something that you said that I can talk to you for forever. Wow, you said something. It's when you quit. When you quit is when you fail.
mm-hmm.
Like people don't get that. Honestly, on you just keep pushing, you keep pushing, you keep pushing. And people say that to me all the time when you start talking. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I sense an accent. Where are you from? Where are you from originally?"
Yeah.
And oh, that accent is beautiful. And when they say that in my head, I roll my eyes like, mm-hmm.
You know now.
So when they say you have an accent, I'm like, you have an accent too.
Everyone have an accent.
Oh, really? Yeah, because if you come to my country, you speak with an accent. So that's an accent. I have an accent here. If you come over there, you have an accent. So we are like, that's cool. Okay. So sometimes when I throw it like that in there, they get confused. Right? And then they think about it, oh well, that's really true. Yeah. Because I
Of
wasn't
course,
born.
everyone have an accent. Everyone.
and sometimes, and I go through the same thing. Some people will say, oh yeah, I don't really understand what you're saying. What did you say? But at least no one has ever told me you need a translator.
Oh, I had that. I got that.
Oh my God. But one thing I've discovered too is you have to stand up for yourself. That was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn when I came to this country, because I was always very quiet. I don't talk much. Now I talk, like sometimes I shock myself. I shock myself because I realize that if you don't open your mouth and talk, like people will put things on you. People will, they will walk, they will literally walk on you if you don't say something. They do something, you don't say it, they'll be like, oh, okay, so we can do that. They will keep doing it until you have to learn how to speak up for yourself, and you have to work hard, and you have to study. Defend your degree. The same board exams you took is the same board exams everybody else took. So you have it behind your name. You you got it. And then when you're working, make sure that you know what you're doing, because the first thing they're gonna come at you with is gonna be to see if you know what you're doing, if you know
Right.
what you're talking about. And when they come, they're like, okay, they see that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, you're good. Then they will start. They know people that they can do stuff like that. So, like, really stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid of anybody. You can go to school with your act, whatever, you can make it as long as you're determined, and not when you're lazy, because some people are lazy, honestly. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Some are lazy.
And you
And
can't
that's
work with their lazy.
Africans too. They are lazy. They just think they're gonna stroll through. You're just gonna get in trouble if you do that. So
No.
it was so nice talking to you, Bola. This was awesome.
Thank you.
When you finish your midwifery, you come back and tell us just all about that. Or not midwifery, here is nurse midwife. That's how they
Yeah.
call it here.
Yeah. Nurse midwife.
I work with a lot of them too. I love them. Anything that has to do with, oh, somebody's pregnant, I'm like, don't come to me. I know where to go. We have OBGYN. Walk on upstairs. Go make an appointment over
Yeah.
there. So when you get your this thing, we'll talk again. It was such a pleasure having you today. This was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you for having me too. Thank you so
All
much.
right.